What's going on YouTube? This is What Would Josh Do, and this is going to be finally my review of the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier. This is one I did purchase from the T-Mobile store. You can go to AT&T as well. I believe those are the only two carriers at the moment that will let you pick one of these up that has its own little built-in standalone feature. I went over some of the standalone features in my first impressions video. So if you haven't seen that already, please check that out. I'll link to it in the description. So I may not go over all the things I went over in my first impressions video. I kind of don't want to make the same video twice. And I'm sorry it's been a minute since I've been in the video. Working 7 days a week is nothing. It's working the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th day and waiting for the 13th day off. And then the 13th day off isn't a day off because everything you haven't done for the last 2 weeks you finally get to do, and it just takes everything out of that day. So I have been extremely busy. I'm sorry about the delay, and here we are. So this is my Gear S3 Frontier. I absolutely love this watch, okay? I've kept it. I was, initially talking about going and returning it and doing a review before I returned it, but I'm not going to return it. It's an awesome watch. I'll just go ahead and, put a little bit of money into it here and there because it is going to cost you $400 if you get it from the T-Mobile store. I'm making payments of I think 15 a month or something on mine and 15 a month on the wife's. So if I want to pay it off early, I can do so. $400 is, over time isn't that much. So here we go. I like the band. I think it fits nicely around my wrist, and that's just that. Not much to say about that. It does have a heart rate sensor. I've been laying in bed when it's nice and nice and relaxed and calm, and this thing was just a little bit off my wrist, and I saw a little light flashing. So when it's reading your pulse, it does shine a bright little light, but obviously you're not going to normally see it when it's on your wrist. So it does have a heart rate sensor, and I believe that's the little microphone right there. But let's go ahead and throw it on. No, actually, before I throw it on my wrist, I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. This pin is when you set up Samsung Pay. Now, this pin only asks to be put in once every. I don't know if it's when it's been off for a really long time or something, but it just asks for the pin, and I thought it was going to be every time I unlocked my watch, it was going to ask for a pin. That's not the case. I don't know exactly what makes it needed again, but you can go the rest of the day without needing to punch in the pin. So you just gotta punch it in when you first wake up, and then maybe it's if you don't touch it for a really long time, then it does it. So in my first impressions video, I had a different watch face. I have changed it because so far this is my favorite one. It shows me my battery percentage. It shows me my steps. And I did actually post on Instagram that I hit 26,000 steps one day. I worked a 12-hour shift, and when I'm at work, I don't stop walking. I'm on my feet all day long. So it shows me my calories, my steps, and it shows me that today's Thursday, which is also a very nice feature. On the old one, I actually had to go over here to the calendar and see what day it was. That's how I saw before. So you get a nice little calendar. I went ahead and customized some of these screens and had them show up before other screens. So there's the music app. You can play music locally stored on your watch or the music that's stored on your phone. You can also download streaming apps, but I think right now the only one you're really going to be able to use that I know of is Spotify. So really miss having Google Play Music on my watch natively from there. So this one normally goes all the way up to here from at work, but I'm off today, so not going to be doing that. And there's the little Samsung Flip that's been out for a while now. Add a widget, and so I've got all the widgets I want. Now, if I go to the left after, and here's the weather, by the way. So we here in Kansas City, we actually went through a pretty nasty little storm. 3 tornadoes touched down around us, about 10 minutes from us. And there's a trampoline in the road. Our power went out from 8 p.m. to noon. We got it back 2 days ago. So we lost power for over 12 hours. And when we finally, left to take my daughter to school, there was a trampoline in the friggin' road. And the metal siding from a roof, it was also in the middle of the road. So it did go ahead and lock. All right, and if I go to the left, you saw the little thing there? That's going to show me I have notifications. Now, I have a text message. It's going to show me that. I don't want to show the number of the text message, so maybe I can cover that part up. There we go. So there's part of the text message. I can go ahead and reply to it. And this is something I do want to show you. This little screen right here. Okay, so the voice input is not nearly as good as the one I had on my Asus ZenWatch 2. That was so hard to say. It was not nearly as good. So you got these pre-texts here, and I can go ahead and set one, which I've been meaning to. Like, I'm at work. I'll call you back when I go on break. I've been meaning to set one, so you can edit responses there. But what I do is I go here to the text message one, and this keyboard is actually quite easy to use. So, like, hi, I don't, well, I didn't do something right there. I don't have work today. Oh, I did hit the wrong one. Today. So it's like predicted text. So it's pretty awesome. And then you just, keep pressing through these if you want to cycle through those. Now, if you want to get to like all numbers, that's super easy. You just scroll right, and there you go. You have all your little numbers there. And if you want an exclamation point or something, that's there too. You can do emojis. You can do more. And have all your emojis here. You can either scroll or flip through them. So lots of them. And then one more screen here for speaking. Okay. So I don't use all those. Now there's also a little gear icon. So go into the settings and change the keyboard. This company messaged me and asked me to review their keyboard, but I haven't. The one time I tried it real quick, I was like, this is too freaking weird. So the keyboard on this thing is actually really nice to use, and the only problem I have is on my phone, I've got it customized to have little arrows, and if I want to get right there in that letter, it's sometimes a little hard to go right in between a letter, especially if you're in a hurry. So it'd be kind of cool if it knew when you're up here to scroll and be able to choose like left and right for the letters. So you can go ahead and backspace that one letter if it was one letter that was wrong and fix it. So that's the only like real downside. But the keyboard on this thing is awesome. I can type rather quickly, as you saw. And if I'm not making a video, I can type even faster. So nice keyboard there. Now for the options, we can go ahead and call. It's going to use the speaker and microphone on the watch, but it's actually going to be using the phones to call him. Unless you're in standalone mode, which I do have a little bit more to talk about in standalone mode because I've learned some new things. So I can go and clear all, and then it says notifications cleared. Now I have no notifications. If this is synced to my phone, I get all the app notifications from my phone. And you can actually go in the settings and say, maybe I don't want Falcon Pro showing me notifications. Maybe I don't want Instagram showing me notifications. Maybe I only want notifications that are important. You can actually go in there and choose which apps will give you notifications. And there we go. So there's the notifications. You can manage notifications. And there we go. See, I just basically chose all apps. So I just want all the apps to show up on my watch. You can obviously choose that and dive into the settings here. So this is probably the thing you're going to notice the most on this watch is you press the home button. Now you can go to your messages. I've got it set to where if I hover over something like email, for example, it'll automatically open it after a couple seconds. You can change that in the settings if you'd like. So the email will only show up if this is connected to your watch via Bluetooth or a remote connection, which we're going to go over remote connection before I end the video. So Find My Car is one of those things I downloaded for free, and it's actually really cool. Obviously, it's showing exactly where I'm at right now, so that's not cool. But you would go ahead and just hit save, and the GPS from the watch, because the watch itself has GPS. Now, when it's connected to your phone via Bluetooth, it might be using the Bluetooth or the GPS on the phone, but this watch does have GPS itself. So we're just going to go ahead and hit save. I know this is a really bad demonstration. Maybe this is something I can, go to a store somewhere and show you that. But basically, when you walk away, it has 0 feet down there, and it'll show you that you are really close to your location. It'll say like 10 feet or 4 feet or something. And using the little wheel, you can actually zoom in and zoom out on the area. So really neat little feature there. Definitely download that. I obviously sometimes in Kansas City, if you go to like the Power and Light District, oh my goodness, finding a parking spot is hard. And then you're going to be doing quite a bit of walking to go to another area. And this is going to be very helpful if I remember to actually do it. You can add a parking memo by clicking the little settings icon there, or you can go ahead and delete. So sorry, that was not the best demonstration. I do have a second channel that I don't use very often. Maybe I can go ahead and use it just solely for the purpose of demoing how Find My Car works, but it's a really cool feature, and I'm so glad this watch has built-in GPS. There's the weather. You can set an alarm. Now, some of the alarms that you set on here actually are independent from the phone. So say you set an alarm on your phone, you're actually going to get that on your watch as well. Then when you dismiss it on your watch, it's going to dismiss it on both at the same time. Now, like one of these alarms I have just on here, so my phone won't go off at all, but my watch will. So I really like this feature. You can go ahead and change a lot of different things in here, like the time. We can scroll over to repeat weekly, and then we can choose a different sound, a different little vibration, and we can save it. So you can have little alarms on here, and the vibration on here is not bad at all. I feel it worked just fine. You can open a music player, you can go to the settings, and there's a lot of things in here you can play with, like watch faces, always on, which I have mine always on, and my battery does not go down that much. Since I am an off-the-wall kind of person and just talk about whatever's on my mind, let's go ahead and talk about battery life. Battery life on this thing is awesome. If you see my Instagram post, battery on here is amazing. Now, with watch always on, I probably go home with about 80% battery life, so it does drain it significantly more. But honestly, I just need my watch to get me through one day. With watch always on disabled, you're going to be able to get 2 days battery life out of this thing. So battery life is awesome. So notification indicator, you can go ahead and turn that on and off. The background style, you can change that to there's only a few of them in here. I don't know how much dramatic they change things, but it is what it is. You can change the font if you want a different style, like Choco Cookie or Cool Jazz or Rosemary. So there's not very many of them there. You want to change the font size. Maybe you're someone who has bad eyes. You can change it to large, or you change it to small if you have really good eyes, and you want to fit more on your screen. For sounds and vibration, you can go ahead and change all this. Vibrate with sound for calls and notifications. Don't know why. That might be a new feature. I actually just got an update the other day, and I posted on Twitter a screenshot of the update. So basically, let's go ahead and cover that too. About Gear, update Gear software, and I went ahead and checked. I checked, and boom, it said there was an update. I downloaded it, and it installed it. I went on my wife's, and it downloaded it and installed it too. So definitely check and see if you have an update every so often. So for volume, you can change that. There's a quicker way to get to that. I'll show you that if I remember to do so. And volume intensity strong. A long buzz for calls and notifications, ringtones, ringtone vibration, notification sound, and touch sounds. So lots of things in here. Under device, double press the home key to get to S voice. Oh, you can actually choose the app you want it to go to. So that's pretty cool. I might actually do, what's the one I was looking for here? So Gear for Nest. Whatever, let's do it. Wake up gestures on, touch sensitivity. You can make it stronger. Auto open apps is what I have it on. Let's go ahead and disable that. I don't want it doing that while I'm hovering over stuff. So under display, you can change the brightness. And under messages, send as audio using voice input. Block list, emergency alerts, connections. This is where you're going to find some of the advanced things like turning on Bluetooth. Mobile networks, you can see more information on that. Mobile data, data roaming, and 4G, 3G connectivity, network operators and stuff, access point names. Under Wi-Fi, it's off by default. You can go ahead and turn it on if you want. You can connect to a Wi-Fi network. NFC is off by default. Turn that on because if you want to use Samsung Pay and other cool features, you're going to need that on. Alerts. Yes, I want to learn alerts about it being disconnected. Airplane mode, data usage. Let's see. Actually, not using data right now. Okay, I need to cover that. Location, turn that on too. Turn location on. So connections, security, so you can enable features and stuff, accessibility, input, power saving, gear info, and connection. Okay, so all right, you can hold this down, and you can edit stuff like holding icon and dragging around and change its location, which is what I've done. And then you go to the next page here by scrolling right, and you get all your little apps here. So I've got Gear for Nest, Voice Memo, Spotify, and I can add more apps. So Gear for Nest is pretty cool. It's a little cheap way of this app, and it's $1.99 to pay for it, which kind of sucks. But I can go ahead and change the thermostat. And the nice thing is I can go ahead and just use the scroll wheel to change my thermostat. And there we go. So it's 72. That's pretty cool. Okay. So you drag this down. There you go. See, it says connected via Bluetooth. It's not using the watch data at all. Now, here's the problem. If somebody was to call this watch number right now, it would go to voicemail instantly. If somebody was to text the watch number, I would not get that text message until either my phone died or a disconnected Bluetooth or I put my phone in airplane mode or something like that. Then all this, or I walk too far away from my phone. I don't know why it's asking for my PIN more than once. Normally, it'll go a whole day without asking me once I put it in. That would, if that happened all the time, I would not be using a PIN. That's just annoying. So your messages are going to flood in all at once the moment you walk too far away from your phone. It's annoying, unless nobody has your watch number. Now, my watch number is actually synced to my Google Voice account. So say somebody was to steal my phone, or I dropped it down a well, or I was at a music park and dropped it and it shattered and broke, or whatever. Biggest thing probably being your phone dying, because the battery on here is going to probably last longer than the battery on your phone. What if you're stranded somewhere and you don't know where you are? You can actually create a text message, and in that text message, there's an option to send them the location of where you're at. There we go. I can go ahead and send him the location. Now, obviously, I've got to block that out again, but I can go ahead and just hit send, and it's going to send him where I'm at. So that's a really cool feature. I love, 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 love this watch. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So my Google Voice account sends all the stuff to my watch. All the stuff comes beaming in from my watch the moment I walk too far away from my phone, and it's so annoying. Like, deep, 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 just beep, 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 beep. So it's really frustrating. Now, let's go ahead and turn our phone Bluetooth off and show you what a remote connection is. Now, remote connection drains the living crap out of this battery. I've had my watch go down at 20-30%. Again, I am in a factory. It's a big giant metal building. Signal sucks. It almost kills the battery on my phone each day. I literally have a little 5,000 milliamp hour Anchor super slim battery that literally just fits along the back of my phone here like a case, and that's what I use. So it does take it some time to enter its own little thing. So it's in the standalone mode, T-Mobile. It'll say remote connection, and I figured out how that way. And you want to actually be connected to your watch, because if somebody was to steal your watch, or steal your phone, you could actually still do commands and stuff, but you can actually still figure out where your phone is, and there's more you can do. Because in remote connection, you also get all the notifications you would normally get from your watch, which is cool. There we go. It's connected remotely. So now I can actually go in here and see it says remotely connected to Gear. Some of these things are grayed out that I cannot access, but I can access some of the notification settings and stuff like that. So if I get a Instagram alert on my phone, it's going to show on my watch. It's going to be as if my phone is in my pocket, but my phone could be in my car charging while I'm at work, or my phone could be at home or something, and my watch is talking to my phone and pulling all the information from my phone's data. Now, if I was to turn my phone off or go in the settings and disable remote connection, Gear will be disconnected, use Bluetooth to reconnect. Then it's going to do just a pure standalone feature, and it's not going to remotely connect to my watch. And now when it's in standalone mode without being remote connected, it's only going to show stuff that's on the watch, like your messages, your calls, maybe a couple apps that you have, like, Spotify needs your phone as well. So you're very limited on what notifications you're going to get this way. So just hopefully you understand. Most of the time you just want Bluetooth connected, and it's going to your phone's going to handle everything, and your watch is just going to be receiving everything. A remote connection is pretty cool if you don't want your phone on you, but you still want your watch to show you everything your phone would normally show you, but it does drain your battery, I would say probably 2 times faster, or at least it did for me. So here's the quick little shortcuts to the brightness. You can go ahead and turn it up and turn it down. I have mine usually set to 4, which is just fine for me. And we can go ahead and change the volume of the ringtone. And then you go right here to get to the media, and then stop trying to detect what I'm saying. Notifications, and then system. You can change all those. Now, if you're at a movie theater, you're somewhere where it's like, hey, put your phone on vibrate, you can actually go down here to this, and it's in do not disturb. No notifications, no annoying stuff at all. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and turn that off. You turn airplane mode on. That's the auto call forwarding where it says it might charge you. It's going to just send all the stuff to your watch. And then you can go to the music app here, and it'll play your music and stuff. So there's the little shortcuts there. That's pretty cool. So now that we're in standalone mode, all the messages come in to our watch. Our watch is using the radio, and if it was connected to Bluetooth or remote connection, a remote connection, it might still do it. Now you're going to start getting all these voicemails, people having the wrong number. I know a few people that have this watch, and they get constant voicemails all the time for a different person because they use a crappy number, I guess, on your watch. The battery life is great. You get all the notifications from your phone, all the apps on your phone, on your watch, as long as you're either connected via Bluetooth or remote connection. If you're in standalone mode, you are going to get very, very, very limited notifications. I'm going to enable remote connection again because that's still something I want, because my phone is still actually talking to my watch, even though I'm using the LTE on my watch, and it's on a Bluetooth connection. So there's a little more you can do, and you can actually find your gear, or you can actually find your watch in your gear and stuff. So find my gear, or you can do find my watch. Oh, what? You can control remotely? Control your gear remotely using your Samsung account. Remote connection must also be turned on. Locate gear. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it actually shows you the road, like the GPS of the watch. That's something I just now saw. So that's pretty cool. If somebody stole your watch and it was in remote connection mode, then you would actually know where your watch is at. I can lock it, or I can reset it. So that's pretty cool. Definitely go in there and under Find My Gear, which I've never even been in this screen before, and turn on remote control remotely and reactivation lock. I'm sure that makes it towards they can't activate it on another service. So they cannot use it on another Samsung account without your permission. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. That's about all I want to talk about. This was a rather long video, but the heart rate sensor is pretty cool. Tells you, how good your heart rate is and stuff. It's not on my wrist right now, so it's not showing me. I wonder if it keeps asking me for an unlock code. So I wonder if it's because it's not on my wrist. Because normally I can go a whole day without it asking me. I just got to do it when I first wake up in the morning. So I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, ha! This is funny. One of the things I hated the most about my Zen watch was how difficult the mother effer was to charge. You had to give it 3 or 4 attempts sometimes before it would charge. I love this watch, and I love the little charger. So have this by your nightstand. I've got a little Anchor 6-port USB charger on my nightstand for my Note 5, my Nexus 6P, a battery bank or 2, and my watch. So we'll bring this over here, set the watch down. You're going to get a little red light, and then it's going to say 14 minutes remaining until it's charged. Let's give you a better view of that. Put the watch on there. And then now it says 14 minutes remaining. So the charger, there's no pins to worry about, trying to clean off or taking it off, putting it back on, taking it off, put it back on. Come on, freaking connect. God, that was the most frustrating thing each night about my Zen Watch 2. This is so convenient. It's so easy. There's nothing to it. I love it. I definitely recommend this watch if you have a Samsung phone and you are invested in Samsung. Now, if you're like me, one of your favorite phones of all times happens to be a Google Pixel or a Nexus 6P or Nexus 5X or something like that, I really want to try out the LG Sport Watch that has its own little LTE because Android Wear is growing up and supporting like built-in apps that use the data on your watch. One of my pet peeves about this watch is the fact that when it is connected to your phone via Bluetooth, it is not a phone. It has no phone features. You're going to get spammed with a whole bunch of things if you have your if people have your watch number, or if you have your watch number synced to, like, say, maybe you have two-step authentication and your watch is one of the numbers on there. You're not going to get those until you disconnect your watch from your phone. That's the biggest thing. I wish it knew how to be both at the same time versus one or the other. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am going to do a what's on my phone probably in the next week. I am going to go on vacation and leave the state, so I won't be back for probably a week or two. I'm sorry about that. But I will do a what's on my phone. That'll probably be the next video. So be on the lookout for that. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.